today I'm in one of the most sought after and prestigious neighborhoods in Detroit, Palmer Woods. This scenic Detroit neighborhood was once a farm owned by Senator Thomas Palmer in the 1800s. And it turned into what it is today, which is a residential area with over 300 beautiful historic homes, Palmer Park, and the historic apartment district. Senator Palmer owned 288 acres in Detroit. Before his passing, he donated 100 acres south of 7 Mile to the city, which is now Palmer Park. His children inherited the rest of the land, and they sold it to Charles Burton, who began developing the neighborhood in 1915. Burton wanted Palmer Woods to be an urban oasis, a quiet, picturesque neighborhood away from the industrial hustle and bustle that consumed the rest of the city. So if you're driving through Palmer Woods and get a little confused, you're not crazy. The roads are intentionally curvaceous so you can appreciate the scenery.
He wanted to do something different than the normal grid layout that all the other neighborhoods had. So this was the first one where they wanted to use the landscape and use the trees and everything that was here and design around them and create different size lots. There's no equal lot in the neighborhood, and he wanted to use the nature that was already here, since this was all, it was woods and just trees and everything at the time, use the landscape and create winding roads in what became actually the first subdivision in Michigan.
This neighborhood has many impressive homes, but the one that takes the cake is this 35,000 square foot Tudor revival that once belonged to the Archdiocese. This is still the largest home in Detroit.
The one thing that would probably surprise people about Palmer Woods is some of the diversity of the age in homes. Palmer Woods is a neighborhood of just under 300 homes. Until 1940, there was only 200 of them there. And then there was a big shutdown, probably in a lot of neighborhoods because of the Great Depression. Things stopped, and then the other 100 homes were built after starting around the 1950s, 1960s. And so you come into a neighborhood like this, or Boston Edison or Indian Village, and there's a lot of different architectures, but not so many more modern homes. And so there are a lot of modern homes still in Palmer Woods, but they don't break up the, flow or the aesthetics of the neighborhood.
The apartment district sits right off of Palmer Park and started with an Albert Kahn design in 1925. Like the houses in Palmer Woods, development continued until the 1960s, and there are 40 apartment buildings altogether. Jed and his wife were renting in Royal Oak when they fell in love with the people and housing stock in Palmer Woods.
We went, saw it, fell in love with it, accepted shortly thereafter. Before we even closed on the house, we took our wedding photos here. Luckily closed on the house afterwards. I fell in love with Palmer Woods due to the diversity. Not only the people, but the houses, the architecture. There's a great mix of diversity within the neighborhood, both of the people, from race to age, from little children up to seniors. Then the homes themselves, from early 1900s all the way to 1970s modern homes. Range of architects, and just absolutely fell in love with those.
Fast forward to today, Jed and his wife have 2 children and are enjoying all that the neighborhood has to offer.
We just love the neighborhood, love the opportunities in the neighborhood, both for music, arts. The people here are very engaged, not only in the neighborhood, but around the parks and with the city. Yeah, we just love being a part of the neighborhood.
You're watching a production of Comcast CN900, your home for local sports, news, and entertainment.